Alright, time to go through the storyline for Final Fantasy XIV, starting from A Realm Reborn. Also, welcome to anyone that decides to tune in. So, the New Game Plus feature lets you go back through the thing, so I'm going to do that to be able to stream to you guys. Obviously, I've already gone through the entirety of the game, so that's fun. Now we get to relive past adventures. It doesn't start you at the very beginning, though. So, that's fun. I'll just go back and rewatch the cutscenes leading up to it, since it doesn't start you right at the start, for some reason. Which also means going back to the inn room first and foremost. I'll go through this entirely on Dancer with this outfit, so and try to make it cohesive. Maybe I'll switch up between each different expansion pack so you guys can see my different clothes. Because what's endgame in Final Fantasy XIV if it's not glamour, right? Haha. Right, into the inn room. Into the unending journey. Command unavailable in New Game Plus mode. Of course it is. I can, however, suspend it. To unending journey. This one's actually going to be in other quests. Duty, no. Class and job. Beast Tribe side quests? Yeah, because it'd be underneath, Lominsan side quests for some reason. And because Dancer wasn't originally in the thing, it's gonna show me as a paladin. With the weapons and all, so that's fun. And that skirt really doesn't lend itself well to floaty scenes like that. For sure. I should really change the notification sound on my phone. That's for sure. Right, and before I forget, let me do something on my other screen real quick while this is playing out. There. See? Since Dancer wasn't in this, I get to be a paladin through this cutscene. So that was the first cutscene. On to the next one. Oh, you all right, lass? Let me enable auto. Actually, I'm gonna keep that disabled, just to be on the safe side. You're moaning in your sleep, a sweating buckets besides. Rolling to the ship got your stuff at churning, has it? Also, do let me know if I should continue to read the voiceless cutscenes or if you just want me to talk through them and just give you time to read it yourselves. There we go. Some are more sensitive to stuff than others, see? And we ain't too far from Vilbrun now, which is chock full of Aetherites. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Ugh, might as well have been bloomin' seasickness. Ship's leaping about like a demented chocobo today. Also, let me know if you'd prefer if I do, like, separate voices for them, if you do want me to read them out loud. I reckon I might head out on deck, get myself a breath of fresh air. Limsolomins is still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how about you keep me company till we get there? Them youngins don't much care for conversation, see? Alize and Alfino. Any road, Brennan's the name, and peddlin's me trade. See, I like the Limsa starting thing because of the fact that all of them are kind of similar to one another in that you meet the same merchant. They're cousins or brothers or whatever, but apparently there's multiple of them and they all have the same name. You always see those two, the twins, no matter which beginning you start with. But this one, it lets you see like the pirate attack and then still get accosted by the guards when you get into the city. Now then, lass, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you're one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? Just a simple nod, that's all that matters. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. Not that dying has any detriments to us. What was it that first attracted you to it? To amass a fortune. 'Cause who doesn't want gil? Makes the world go round. Fortune, eh? Well, it's a dream we've all had at one time or another. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, you want to pay a visit to whichever craft in your gathering guild tickles your fancy. I actually have all those almost maxed out, so... Limsolomins is renowned for its smithies and armors, not to mention its fisherfolk, and then there's its cooks, of course. Adventuring ain't just about killing things, after all. A peaceful pastime may well help you make your fortune. Just remember, though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that a fact. And there's the pirate attack. Yeah, I would love to, like, they let you come up with your own backstory. If you had played during the original 1.0 release, they would make references to that, and you had, like, something special. Since, you know, A Realm Reborn is 2.0. Have you no sense? Get below. I should probably do voices if I'm gonna read through these out loud. Twins are still just sitting there. It's like they won't even wake up for a pirate attack. What is the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying Lominzen's colors. Bastards either have a boatload of balls or bugger all for brains. You can rest easy, friends. We've made it out of cannon range, and no buccaneer or bark will catch this flighty temptress once the wind's in our sails. There are certain parts in, like, certain cutscenes that I absolutely love the most, too, so... That was too bleeding close. Glad one of us kept her head on her shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. If the pirates gave up the chase, we must be close to port. Let's head up on deck and have us a look, shall we? Yeah, some of these cutscenes are long. It's going to take quite a while to get through all of the story without skipping and letting them play out, because, you know, each cutscene can be a little bit different depending on choices. No, this is not my first trip to Limsa Lominsa. Thought not. Ah, but I'll wager there's been some changes since your last visit. Allow a journeyed itinerant to apprise you of the current state of affairs. Ahem. Prides itself on being Eorzea's foremost naval power. Weren't too long ago that the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilizing influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You'd never guess she was once a rum-swilling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folk ain't so quick to change, and with a town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you can imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she's got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if that weren't bad enough, I've heard the Sahagin are raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them are the Swede-dwelling beastmen that locals call fishbacks, case you didn't know. He didn't really mention the kobolds at all, which is the other beast tribe in Limsa. At long last, land ho. I actually haven't gone through the beast tribe, so I'll probably do videos going through those as well for daily stuff. Going through all the storylines for them. You know, the different kinds of stuff. I want to be able to pump out plenty of quality content revolving around Final Fantasy XIV. Plus, I actually have a sizable collection of retro game consoles, so I was thinking of doing plays for those. Hooking them up, playing, all that kind of stuff. For you guys, so let me know what you think. And I'll make sure not to talk during voice cutscenes as much. Here we are, fresh off the boat. Into the land of Eorzea. And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the market to deliver me wares, and it's onto the high road for me. And here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for saving me arse back earlier. Saw the twins just walk by us. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did it? Well, here's an idea. Become the storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square. Oh, don't worry, we become so much more than that. The amount of adventure we go through. I love the fact that you can definitely tell there's a discrepancy between what the Japanese is actually saying versus what's actually popping up on screen for subtitles. Oh, friend of mine logged in, so let's say hey to him. Let me just let him know that I'm streaming. Doing new game plus for YouTube. Shit, because I backed out of it. Let me go back into Lumens and side quests. That was 1, 2, I believe that was 3. Yeah, that was 3. So we're on cutscene 4. Okay, it's content, and... Limsa Lumbinza, the hub of the game. It really is a beautiful city, and it has the closest market board to the Aetheryte. Hey, you there. I mean you. This is my district, and I make it my business to know all the scum that washes up on it. Hey, don't call me scum. Ah, an adventure fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow me, one of Limsa finest, to set you on the right path. Hop to at last, I haven't gotten all day. Cutscene number 5. Ah, mean Baldurin. For the first time, the Inky, one of the people, the main person you'll be, dealing with here. In Limsa, because each place has its own person. What'll it be? Ah, but you ain't here for the drink, are ye? You've come with a mind to try your and at adventuring, I reckon. Well, you find no shortage of work here in Limsa. The name's Batterin, and this most hospitable of ulsteries is the drowning wench. Tis also the Olm of the Adventurers Guild here in Limsa. That's why we've got a desk specially for handling guild business, and why I seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting the throats of me regulars. Adventurers have a knack for finding trouble, see? I really can't deny that. That's pretty true. Not that they need it in these parts on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get ye instead. And if they don't manage, there's always the Guardian Empire to finish the job. Oh, no one knows what they're planning, of course, but if they're planning anything, ye can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. This town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again, and you'll see a people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eorzea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our ohms weren't the only things that got wiped off the face of existence by that thrice-damned bastard of a dragon. He's talking about Bahamut there. And the end of 1.0, where Bahamut got released from its prison, which was the Moon of Dalamud. That'll get mentioned a lot. It took our bleeding memories, too, and no one's been able to explain it in a way as makes an ounce of sense. None of the folks who saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. 'Tis all foggy, like recollections from an hour night on the ale. You can imagine why people might fear for the future if they can't rightly recall the past. 1 second, someone's asking about unlocking Baja. You need to do the Stormblood Alliance raids. But there's one thing we all remember, and that's the group of adventurers that laid down their lives to drag Eorzea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Well, I say we remember. Truth is that we ain't forgotten what they did for us. This goddamned calamity spawned memory loss robbed us of their names. That's right. That's pretty much the adventures you started in 1.0. They basically would disappear at the end of it. It won't even let us picture their damn faces, just like staring at a goal flying in front of the sun. All you see is your mind's eye as a shadow set against the blinding glare. And that's how every bugger describes it, by the way, give or take the odd goal. If it's this what's got people calling these heroes the Warriors of Light. Which is what we end up. If Limsa's ever going to put the time of darkness behind it, it's going to need adventurers that'll banish the fear. It's going to need new heroes like the ones we've lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them. And that's why any aid we can give to a venture is effort well spent. What say ye, lass? Ye willing to lend us your strength? But of course. Let me just quietly nod and not say anything. Me thanks to ye, and to the navigator and all. I knew she steered ye my way for a reason. Ah, but listen to me, yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis 8 time we got your mark in me book. Put your scrawl right there. You don't. A Realm Reborn, is it? And a fine name it is. Damn straight that's my name. Congratulations, you're now an upstanding member of the Venturers Guild. You there, adventurer, you sealed it on the last ferry, did you not? Ah, here comes being accosted by the Yellow Jackets about the fact that pirates attacked as soon as we stepped out on the deck. Apologies, I don't know why my voice is starting to go a little. The captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching your description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Sending your friends signals, were you? Now, hold on just a moment there, officer. You've got the wrong lass. This fine upstanding young lady is me dearly departed grandma's sister's niece's cousin's closest companions. What the feck, bothering? Like, what is that about? On the same account. The last wouldn't be caught dead fraternizing with such unsavory elements. Is that right? Ahem, you are surely aware of the recent kidnappings? Respectfully, then, we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at a time when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. You can start those in Kugane. And in order to unlock Baja, you have to do those quests first. You make a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I keep one eye open at all times, me, and 2 more often than not. Now, sir, what say ye to a tankard on my finest ale, afore ye return to your duties, eh? Not a watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. Ain't got the faintest clear what you're on about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the Strait of Merlthur, but that don't mean it won't get ye good and pickled. And look, there's a chair over there just crying out to be sat on, so kick off them heavy boots, eh? Have multiple characters per account. You'll have to excuse these eager, bloody yellow jackets. There's been a spate of kidnapping, see, and they ain't got a clue who's behind them. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means venturers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else in this town. Because, you know, Limsa Lominsa is the pirate haven. Don't take it personal, though. Us Lominsas can be an headstrong bunch of bastards, 'tis true, but given time, we'll grow on ye. Now, where was I? Oh, aye. Welcome to Limsa Lominsa, where the sea's as green as the faces o' me patrons, after a few too many black belly whiskies. Now, take a moment to gather your wits, and we'll get started with learning ye the ways o' the city. So that basically puts you right up into the quest that New Game Plus starts you with. I can understand them not including the rest of that just in the thing itself, because they don't know where you actually started, and there's 3 different starting cities. And those cutscenes will vary depending on where you go, but they also are pretty much the same. Alright, now that beginning thing out of the way. To Boderon! Badaran, proprietor of the Dreading Winds, wants you to lend a hand at Summerford Farms. Still in limbs, are ye, Aileron? Out ye to fancy a trip outside the city walls. If you'd like to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms, ever heard of the place? The owner, Stalewern, is an old mate of mine. He's got himself a crew of mostly reformed pirate types, if ye can believe that, and has been trying to bring a bit of life back to the fields after the calamity ruined the soil. He mentioned needing another and or two, and your name sprang to mind. I gave you a glowing recommendation, so make sure you work hard and impress the old bastard. You need directions? The place ain't hard to find. Just take the Zephyr Gate out of the city and follow the road northeast. So the Zephyr Gate is not up here. I don't remember. I think that was the one. I can just go to the 8th right and head out that way though. Since we're going to Middle La Nosea for the sake of getting to Summerford Farms. Aethernet to the Zephyr Gate. Middle La Nosea. And I'll pull up a mount. I'm just doing New Game Plus. There is legit no reason not to bring out my cool ass mounts. Still trying to get my hands on more of them, so I'll start streaming that kind of stuff too, depending on how I go about it. Summerford Farms, Middle La Nosea, one of the first areas you'll visit. Here's Stalewern now. Cutscenes! At least it plays the cutscenes while you're going back through. I should really keep like a cup of water down here for this kind of stuff. You must be the adventurer Badaran promised to send along. Aileron Munara, wasn't it? Ye honored his word, so that's a good start. I'm Stalewern, the old bastard, as Badaran likely described me, and this here is my humble orchard. A good number of the lads and lasses working here once terrorized the high seas. And if you're wondering why I employ these crags, well, they used to crew my pirate ship. Former pirate, now orchard keeper. Pretty admirable, Stalewern. But the calamity did for our ship like it did so many others, and I was sore wounded into the bargain. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow, and Admiral Merweb's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers working the field seemed to find an offer to refuse. This dude. Well, it turns out you can take a pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes just never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanists I called in to train them have been wringing their hands in black despair. With so much work piling up, I need a tougher soul like you to step in and help where it's needed. You can count on me after I'm just getting my start. Honestly, the story in Final Fantasy XIV is really what makes the game for me. I've always loved it. There is other stuff to do, but the story has been one of the main things. Stalewern, owner of Summerford Farms, wishes to inspect your equipment and thereby gauge your readiness for the task he has in mind. I have in mind to set you a task, Munara, but before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand? It might well be the ones here have traded in their cutlasses for colters, but they're still rogues at heart. I knew a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped. With stuff of item level 5. I wonder if I have stuff of item level 5 on hand. 580, 600, 580, 580, 590, 590. Yeah, I think I'm good on gear. Alright, Stalewern. Oh, as long as you're this well covered, I won't feel any guilt throwing you to the sharks. Erstwhile buccaneers are an ornery lot. They rage in love for the sea and care little for the laws of the land. But they respect strength, and by the looks of you, I'd say you'll have little trouble getting their attention. Munara, the Aura of Confidence, tells me you've not been idle since the last we met. I hope I've read you all right, for I've got a task that requires the attention of a capable adventurer. Might that adventurer be you? Why, yes. Yes, I am a capable adventurer. I don't spend my time at venues doing absolutely nothing in the mornings. Good to hear that I shall lay before you the sorry tale. You have heard rumors of the abductions. Aye, citizens have been disappearing from every corner of Limsa Lominsa as if plucked from the face of Heidelin, boots and all, by an unseen hand. And what's this got to do with summer fur farms, you might ask? Well, that remains to be seen, but it seems a collection of right unsavory fellows with azure tattooed faces has been creeping up the edges of the fields and spying on my yeomen. Now, I doubt anyone would have enjoy being scrutinized by such savages at the best of times, but the farmhands are convinced that they're the kidnappers of ruiners, come for their hides. Needless to say, they're beside themselves with worry, and their work's suffering for it, which is why the very last thing I need when my old crewmen are still getting used to their new jobs. It's a struggle to get them to leave the farmhouse of a morning. That is, as they say, where you come in. Would you be willing to investigate these tattooed thugs for me? Why, yes, I will. Good lass, the sooner we get to the bottom of this, the sooner this place will start to resemble a working farm again. I suggest you begin by having a look around Seasong Grotto. If reports are to be believed, our unwelcome visitors have occupied the place. Be careful though, Munara. I couldn't say for sure what manner of miscreants we're dealing with here. If they are the kidnappers, well, just be on your guard, alright? Alright. And away we go. I'll actually turn Mount BGM back on. I'm not fond of the sounds and music in this place. So glad I have flying mounts to get through this again. I was contemplating making just a new character and doing this with them, but... yeah. At least this way I get to hang out with the people I care about, with my FC people while I'm doing it. And you guys get to see exactly what my character looks like and what she's capable of. You know, being a high-level dancer and all. You're about to enter an instant battles. Yes, I know about instant battles. Do this all in normal. As many times as it takes. I've never been exactly all that great at this kind of stuff. Some of these I end up failing because I can't handle it. Turn on auto advance for this part. And thus we are introduced to Y'shtola. Our introductions to the Scions of the Seven Dawn, which you'll understand when you get to it. And thus we are attacked. Damn straight, Y'shtola. Let's beat the shit out of these enemies. Ah, yes, the good old, put me down to a low level to go through this. Just gotta take out this frenzied moss back. Apologies about that. I had to type out to a friend real quick. And at least I get to keep my really cool looking weapons that I spent way too long trying to get. We'll kill the enemies over here. I love how they die so quick with the level my character is right now. Though they do keep spawning. I remember coming through this on my, the first time. I was on an Arcanist, because that's what I started as, because I wanted to be a summoner. I absolutely love carbuncles, and I'll show you exactly what I mean at some point. I'm also going to try to keep these videos to certain time frames. I'm going to try to keep them between 45 minutes to an hour. If I go a little bit over because of a cutscene, that's fine, but that's the general time frame I'm going to go for these. It's going to take quite a while to get through these with that time frame, though, so. And our very first Crystal of Light. Ah, yes. A magically floating stone. Based on that, you can definitely tell that there's going to be 6 of them. Super dark. Yeah, skirts for these really not the best thing to be wearing. Whoops. Whatever. And thus we first meet Heidelin, the Mother Crystal.
星の声を聞く者よ。我が名はハイデリン。星の秩序を保っていた断りは乱れ、世界は今闇で満ちようとしています。闇はすべてを蝕み、すべての命を奪う存在。闇に屈せぬ光の意志を持つ者よ。どうか星を滅びより救うためにあなたの力を。光のクリスタルは闇を払う力。世界を巡り、光のクリスタルを手に入れるのです。
The cutscenes in this game are gorgeous. You gotta love the style of animation they have. And the Mother Crystal is definitely fantastic to look at. See all the different lights for all the different people. You can see all the different, like, how it's representing all the adventures that you come across. You're not the only person that the Mother Crystal has faith in. And thus we wake up
気
from
が
our
ついた。
dream.
やはりこの子無理やりにけしかけられたようね。
Poor thing was set on us by one with evil intentions.
グーブンの背中にこれが刺さっていたわ。このナイフ、ロープを扱う船乗りたちが使うものよ。
So basically everywhere in Limsa.
船乗り、それも海賊たちが絡んでいるのは確かなようね。ところであなた大丈夫？エーテルにでも酔ったのかしら。戦闘の後急に倒れたから驚いたわ。え、大きなクリスタル、一体何の話を。
No, you know exactly what that means, lady.
これは思わぬ収穫もあったものね。なんでもない、こっちのことよ。私はもう少しこの件を追ってみるつもり。あなたは依頼主に注意を促しなさい。これを見せて海賊らしきものが暗躍しているとね。これから
Thank you for the
忙しくなり
knife.
そうだわ。クリスタルの光が重なるとき、また会いましょう。
Alright, that was our first interaction with that conjurer. I love this mount so very much. It's definitely beautiful to look at. So back to Stalwern to talk to him about after killing the Gabu. Munara, right glad am I to see you safely returned. My lads were all gabbing about hearing what sounded like all seven hells breaking loose near the grotto, and I feared I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you'd risk your life for naught. Let's give him the blunt sailor's knife. And into a cutscene. Probably not voiced. A blade pulled from the back of a creature. I'd agree that such a knife might be. I didn't mean to click past that already. I'm starting to think that these ruffians are pirates come to lure my farmhands back to the life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep and set a maddened Gabu on you. Aye, the pirates have been adding to their numbers of late. I best warn the lads and lasses in my employ to be on guard against their schemes. A chest clear minion can even be a zero chest. Oh, that's just mean. Sorry, something about people in my FC are saying. You met someone else at the grotto. The strange contraption. Ah, Y'shtola. She's been in Limsa Lominsa for a good while now. Her studies of the ether often bring her out to Summerford, so her presence at the grotto is hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking is in those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate pasts. The temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, Munara. If it weren't for the efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in a far worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsa the very future she deserves. Always. Always, always. Oh boy. Alright, on to the next quest. Washed up. Stalewern is up in arms as his hired hands are nowhere to be found. That Seath lost Severin in his lot, never around where there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Stowern would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. Alright, now we get to go find these wayward pirates. There's water, which is one of them. Work? Ha! Can't work when me hands are full in this mug. You know, I'd wager me last gill you'd never guess what I'm drinking. Wine. Well, you're right about the swill part. I reckon it might be worth a day of doing Star Wars chore if it'll form me to taste a proper grog. Ah, yes, the joys of talking to pirates and getting them to do what you want. You can't go in there. Where the fuck was this dude again? It's always been a pain in the ass. I think he's outside the gate, if I remember correctly. Off to the one side, maybe? Yep, there he is. Sozai Rarzai. Lalafels. Of course it's a Lalafell. Groan. How am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess at what I had for breakfast. Breaded sticks. What? Gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? It probably smells as wooden as the food tasted. But I know why you're here. I just as soon as get some real food in me, but I ain't one to reject a summons from the captain. There's that, so let me zoom that back out. You know, my next mount. Ooh, the shark. This one you actually get from ocean fishing. It's hard to get. A Hemhus. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? Wonton slaughter. You bet your bosom I did, lass. Aye, those were the days. I reckon now I'll have to be satisfied taking my axes to the trees. On to the next person. He should be somewhere. There he is. Aylmer. That's this dude. So, Stalwarn sent you, and what do you reckon I say to that? I've saucier seeds to sow. Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking gruff from any glorified gardeners, but I suppose I can see what he wants to get him off my back. The carbuncle again. If there's any mounts that you guys are particularly interested in seeing or hearing, like what music it might have behind it and I have it, just let me know. I'll definitely pull that out for you guys. Hi, I'm Severin. You the old man's errand girl now. Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. Severin, he's such an ass. Guess what's coming to him, though. I think. It's been so long since I've done these quests, I honestly don't remember them too well. You continue to impress, lass. All but Severin are accounted for. It's no fault of yours he skirmed out. I've let that worm wiggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt where all such worms belong. Well, you don't have to kill the dude, Stalwern. Jeez! Pains me to say, but all the guild in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some, like you, who can be trusted, but then there are others. Until now, I've had no choice but to rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I am full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once I've heard tell of improper trading with goblins. I wouldn't be surprised if that were happening right now. Not a bell ago, a sack of oranges vanishes, as did Severin. I want you to find and confront the bastard for me, Munara. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth. So, if they have the stuff in orange letterings, that basically means he wants you to do that emote. They want you to do that emote on them. And away we go. There's a lot of running back and forth, which makes it glad why I didn't start a new character, because can you imagine the running involved in this if I didn't have my flying mount. Bloody hells, I'm up to the strait without a paddle. What's this now? Stalwart sent you for the oranges? Huh. So the old bugger had known all this time. What does it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventurer types, right? Go rescue me mates from these double-down goblins. They're just over yonder by the bonfire. Now I get to rescue a bunch of idiot sailors. Fun, fun. Does it keep them at the levels that they were? It does. It still keeps them at level 5. I'm level 90. This is going to be so quick to get through sometimes for some parts of this. Now I just help them all up. Elmer, I owe you one. Would have gotten away myself if not for Severin shoving me aside. So Ozia's here. Let's aid him. The stealing bastards. If you hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. Let me help this dude. Just for the fun of it. There you go, dude. Now I'll help Emirios up. Severin sent you. Ha! The way he flew out of here, I was sure he'd sold us down the river. Man, Severin really kind of a dick. You saved me, mates, and for that I owe you. Suppose I should be ashamed if I couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. I have no qualms about going back on my word. I'm only giving you the sack because I like the cut of your jib. Take it to Ozine and send him my regards. Now we get to take the oranges back. Oh, joy. Pull out my mount. Deliver the sack of oranges to Ozine at the La Thogrin checkpoint. There's Ozine. He's the yellow jacket. What have we here? Delivery from Somerset Farms and as scheduled? Ha! There's a first time for everything. Give you the sack of oranges. Well, look at that. Not a single one missing either. I bet the only things not here are those bagmen, and I don't miss them one bit. Here's Stalwarn's payment in full. With you, I can trust it'll reach him. Alright, we'll go turn this in and then cut out for the day. And then cut out for today. We'll come back in tomorrow and continue along with the story. I'll probably also release another Moonlit Venue review episode at some point. Have to see what's open when I go to do it in the first place before I make any decisions as to where we're going. I do know I want to hit up a couple of places, specifically Waffle Golf, which is known for its slaps. There's a place run by one of my friends called by the name of Laura. Her place is pretty nice. I haven't actually been there since she moved because she switched servers, so I'd love to see exactly what she did with the place. Back in one piece. That's a relief. How'd you fare, Munara? Sack of Gil. This is what I was aiming for. It looks to be all I was owed, alright. Though I'd be telling you false if I claimed I had not held out more hope for Severin. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top, but to sell us all short in favor of those godforsaken goblins. You do well to mind yourself around that 2-guild cheat. If he leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he'd do to you. Yeah, that's true. Alright, we'll come back into this by talking to Gorkon next time. So I'll just click on this and suspend. Does save the progress, so I can come right back into this at that point. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will continue this some other time, and have a great day.